If you're making a great income now, like $200, $300, maybe $500,000 a year, but are still not building wealth like you thought you would, then this video is for you. On paper, you're absolutely crushing it, but in reality, things feel tight. And I don't mean I can't afford groceries kind of tight. I mean more like, why isn't this easier kind of tight? Every month, money flows in, but then it disappears fast, and your savings aren't growing the way you thought they would. And every single year, there's this nagging feeling behind the back of your mind. By now, shouldn't I be further ahead than this? I want you to know that this is incredibly common, and it's not because you are not being responsible with your money, or unless you can't control your spendings. I'm Jim Pan, an advice-only financial planner working with professionals like doctors, dentists, tech professionals, and senior professionals. I see the back end of these financial lives every single day. So let me show you what's actually happening here. More income equals more wealth. This sounds logical until you realize the reality seems to be far away from the truth. And here's why. When your income increases significantly over time, it's very likely that your lifestyle starts creeping up too. You stubbornly pay more taxes than you ever expected. And with those extra bonuses or stock options coming in, your financial situation becomes way more complex. And all of these happen sort of quietly in the background. So let me give you an example here. I work with a couple in their late 30s with 2 kids making about $350,000 a year as a household. They weren't gambling their money away. They weren't buying Ferraris. They were even saving money every single month towards their TFSA. But when we look back over 5 years, their net worth had barely moved at all. When we dug into the numbers, we found about 10 small leaks happening simultaneously. The bigger house they bought meant way higher carrying costs than they anticipated. The kids' activities gradually got fancier and more exclusive. They started booking nicer hotels when they traveled because they felt like they earned it. Their car upgrade felt reasonable at time for safety and status reasons. So the monthly savings in TFSA is like an ATM machine. You see, each individual decision made complete sense when they made it. But because they were spending without any real system in place, the money just came in and out to support their upgraded lifestyle, and nothing actually accumulated in their savings over time. Now, I want to be really clear about something here. Lifestyle creep itself isn't the enemy. Your life should absolutely improve when you earn more money. That's literally the whole point of working hard and advancing your career. But when lifestyle creep happens unconsciously, that's when your spending grows on autopilot, but your savings stays completely sporadic. What I see with high earners is that they don't really overspend in the traditional sense. They just haven't asked themselves, what does enough actually look like for us? So their lifestyle just keeps expanding because they want to keep up with their neighbors down the street until it completely maxes out their cash flow. Remember, when you first started your career and when your income was low, you are likely more careful with your money because financial mistakes cause immediate pain. You feel it right away and you are forced to correct courses. But as your income jumps, you might not even realize some of the financial decisions you make is actually costing you. But you don't feel broke in the traditional sense. You just feel confused and frustrated because your net worth is not increasing. You keep telling yourself that the next bonus is going to fix this, or the next raise will finally get us ahead. But it never does, because the real problem is you don't have the right structure in place. Let me tell you about another client I worked with recently. We'll call him Mark. He makes about $280,000 a year, a very brilliant guy, super analytical, the type of person who actually reads every single investment prospectus. Mark didn't have a spending problem. Mark is actually a great saver, but he had what I call a fragmentation problem. He had an old RRSP sitting at his previous employer. He had multiple TFSA accounts spread across different banks. He had a self-directed trading account where he was buying his favorite tech stocks. And he had a significant amount of cash just sitting in a low-interest savings account because he was waiting for the market to dip. It was a total mess because everything was scattered across all different platforms. He couldn't tell you what his actual rate of return was. He had no idea if his overall risk level had actually made sense for his situation. And most importantly, he had absolutely no timeline mapped out. He couldn't answer the most basic question, like which dollars meant for my life 3 years from now, and which dollars are for my life 30 years from now. So when the market would dip, instead of using the cash that he had sitting around to buy more at lower prices, he would panic and sell what he already owned. He was investing, sure, but he was doing it without any kind of coherent plan. When your finances are fragmented like this, it creates unnecessary complexity that leads you to lose track on whether your overall net worth is actually growing. You're essentially flying the plane without any instrument on your dashboard. So you end up with too much cash sitting around doing absolutely nothing. Or you are doubling down on the wrong risks because you can't see the whole picture on how this decision is going to impact your overall finance. When we consolidated all of Mark's account and set him up with a single tracking dashboard, he didn't magically get a raise or anything like that, but he completely stopped feeling broke. Why? Because he could finally see his actual progress happening in real time. Structure doesn't just organize your money, it organizes your entire mind around your finances. Last story. I recently worked with a realtor who had a great year. He made over $500,000 in income, but he was absolutely riddled with anxiety about his finances. It's because irregular income means it's hard for him to plan for taxes and spendings. And many of his personal finances are clumped together with his business finances. He seemed profitable on paper, but he felt completely unstable day to day. What we did was really simple. We split his money into clear buckets. Money for living expenses, money set aside for taxes, money for emergency, and money for business opportunities and investments. That structure alone made it much clearer for him to reduce his anxiety. When I say structure, I'm talking about creating a system where you give every dollar you earn a role and purpose. So try this shift. Stop thinking about accounts as places where money just sits. Start thinking about them as jobs that money does. You need money that handles your day-to-day life. That's operating money, rent, mortgage, groceries, the stuff that keeps life running. You need money that protects you from chaos. That's buffer money, emergencies, irregular expenses. And if you're self-employed, your tax obligations. This is the money that keeps you from panicking when something unexpected happens. And you need money that's actually building wealth. That's your growth money. And this is where most people screw up because they treat all growth money the same. But the money you need in 3 years for a down payment should not be invested the same way as the money you won't touch for 20 years. So when Mark consolidated his accounts, we didn't just merge everything into one pile. We gave each dollar a specific job based on when he actually needed. His $50,000 emergency fund went into a high-interest savings account he could access immediately. His midterm money, stuff that he'd need in 3 to 7 years, went into a balanced portfolio. His long-term retirement money went into growth investment he wouldn't touch for 20 years. Suddenly, he could see, well, I have 6 months of expenses covered. I have $150,000 growing for my kids' education I'm going to need in the next 3 to 7 years. And I have $400,000 building for retirement right now. And because he could see it, he stopped making emotional decisions when the market moved. The number of accounts doesn't matter. Some people need 3 to make this work. Some need 5 or 6. What matters is that every account has a clear purpose, a clear timeline, and a clear rule when money goes in and when it comes out. That's structure. It's not complicated, but it has to be intentional. The problem most high earners have isn't that they don't have multiple accounts. You probably already have a checking, a savings account, maybe a few investment accounts scattered around. The problem is those accounts don't have clear rules. Money just flows wherever it's convenient in the moment. So what actually fixes this feeling of being broke, even when you are a high earner, is not downloading another budgeting app, is not chasing better investment returns in the market. It's definitely not just working even harder to make more money. What fixes this is structure. A structure that gives clear rule for where your money goes the moment it hits your account. Every single dollar needs to have a specific role assigned to it. Now, here's one more thing you need to be mindful of. You can have a great income. You can even have a decent structure in place. But there's still one major force that can drain you dry here in Canada if you don't pay attention to it. It's called hidden tax leaks. There are some common tax leaks. I see it over and over again with high income earners. And most don't even realize they're doing it. And these mistakes can easily cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over time. If you want to see exactly what those leaks are and how to fix it before the next tax season hits, click on this video right here and I'm going to break the whole thing down for you. See you in the next one.